such a pleasure to be here with you. First time that I'm presenting in the US, so it's really special. Presented a lot in Australia, some in Europe, but this is US the first time. I feel really privileged. So thank you, Michelle. I did have 10 years living submerged in the Australian bush. It's a long time. And it took me 10 years to find my way back in the world after that. I was used to talking to trees, not people. So, but because I've had this business upbringing right from the start of my life, and then I went into what I call the wise woman phase, because it was like living under the earth. It was living like completely separate to what's going on in the world, where I moved so deeply within the deepest layers of myself, from the surface to the deepest layers within me, where things look very different. We spend so much time on the surface of our being, where it's chaotic and confused, but when you're moving right to the end, the center of your being, inside your body, right deeply inside, it's very still, it's really quiet, and the frantic stuff that goes on in the head just doesn't exist there. So, I never quite plan what I'm saying because I feel what's in the room and I feel whatever needs to come alive. And in this moment, a story comes alive that I experienced when I was living on 10 acres of bush, quite profound. One morning, I walked out to the goat paddock. I loved our goats. When I was growing up, that was one of my childhood dreams, to live in nature and have goats. So I went out to the goats and I practiced yoga, and my plan was to then meditate with these goats around me. And I saw a little wattle bird, a honey eater, on the eucalyptus tree nearby. And I began talking to the little honey bird. And I said to the honey bird, it was just overflowing from within me. I said, I love you. I really, really, really love you. I really love you. And just like this outpouring, it's like a mantra. It's just like, I love you. I just love you so much. And the little bird is just sitting there getting more and more excited. And there was just this love pouring through me, and I just kept talking and just kept saying, I really love you, really, really love you. And then all of a sudden the bird started fluttering its little wings, and it lifted up and landed on my head. And I'm going, wow, I've got a bird on my head. How am I going to practice yoga now? So anyway, I went, this is quite amazing. And then the little bird sat on my left shoulder, and it tried to climb around so it could kiss my mouth. And it was like this complete oneness between me and this bird. And my thought was, I'm going to have to introduce the bird to my family. I had 3 children, and I was homeschooling at the time. Literally, we just had our own life, did our own thing. And so I went back to the house, and it was considerable distance. So as I went back, the bird went between my head and the bush, and my head and the bush, and the head and the bush. Just kept following me. It just was going between the head and the bush. Then I went into the kitchen door. There was a double French doors, and there was a herb garden outside the kitchen. And there was an umbrella just by the door. And as I walked in to get my family and my little kids, the bird sat on the umbrella, and it looked in, it watched me where I was going. And so I came out, I said, I'm going to introduce you to my new friend. And so as I came out, it was straight back on my head. And so then I invited him to be on my hand. I introduced it to each member of the family. And I basically got the bird to sit on this person's hand, and then but passed around, and we literally had this wild bird in our family for the entire day. Ooh. And the girls were out there having a one that they just, they grew up like this. They thought this was normal. They thought everybody lived like this. So They would just play with this wild bird for the rest of the day, feeding it, giving it water, and having it crawl all over them. And that was it. So, I think why I need to tell this story is that when we're really open and receptive, and when we're really authentically in our own true being, and we're one with nature, amazing things can happen. And it is through our perception and our separation that we're just blocking the beauty in life to come to us. And it's simply us being in our own way. So just need a drink of water. I've never opened this story before. Thanks, Judy. So, you probably wonder what all this is. But just to give you a very rough introduction, when I was living for 10 years submerged with nature, I was deeply observing nature. It was like, and I was just surrounded with trees because we had trees all around. We didn't see any neighbors for 10 years. So whichever window I looked out, there was trees. And so I hung out in the trees a lot. Specifically at night. I love going out in the bush at night. For me, the magic happens at night. That's when Wise Woman's really active, when she brings us right deeply inside. And so, having a yoga therapy background, and you know, the component, like this dance with yoga and Ayurveda being sister sciences, I was introduced, obviously, to the elements very early on. And so, my interest really grew. What are the elements doing in nature? How do they express themselves? And how do they express themselves in us? Because we are nature. We're completely forgotten. Half the time we think we're just head, but we actually are nature. And we were chanting last night to Shakti. And I was thinking, you know, Shakti is life force. It's divine life force that pulsates through all of creation. Every tree, every flower, the earth, everything that's created, you and me and everyone, all the animals, it's in us. But Shakti kind of gets blocked. And what happens is, we've come into this life with our prenatal tendencies. Samskara, you might want to say. But what happens is early in life, our prenatal tendencies get reenacted through early childhood wounding. And what happens is we kind of get stuck in one element at first. So to make it more understandable, I've created archetypes for each element because I found women got it so much easier when I talk about archetypes versus the elements. So you all had a blessing when you came in receiving the Earth Mother oil on your wrist. So I just want you for a moment to get a sense what Earth Mother feels like in her balance, right? What does she feel like in her balance? So just for a moment, close your eyes. And just imagine a woman in her fullness. She's a woman that has softness about her, and she's kind of really comfortable in her own body. She doesn't worry about a pound or two on her skin. She just kind of loves the body the way she is, and she's anchored in it. And if you want to have somebody to imagine what this might feel like, you know, Michelle, to me, our beautiful MC, she really, for me, is the Earth Mother archetype. So just see her, you know, what might it feel like to be in a body that's full and comfortable, open and receptive. And I just want us all to imagine what it might have been like to be born into the arms of a Earth Mother. If our first experience in life would have been to be born, carried first, and then birthed by a woman in the fullness of the Earth Mother. So the belief is, I am full. will always be here for me. I am looked after. I am safe. Everything that I could ever want is always going to be there at the right time. I am enough. I am enough. I am beautiful enough, tall enough, big enough, thin enough, whatever it is. Clever enough, intelligent enough, rich enough. I'm just enough. And just imagine that your skin is open, your pores are open to receive life. So instead of pushing energy out, as we're doing a lot of the time, we're thinking of the next thing and we're running towards it. We're just open to receive. So, just come out of that experience a little bit. So, you can imagine if we all would have been born to an Earth Mother in her balance, our start in life would have been really different. We wouldn't be trying so hard to be loved, to be beautiful, to be perfect, to be whatever. You know, we could just be. If that would have been our very first experience. And so what we see today is that our Mother Earth is really out of balance, but all of us are reflecting that imbalance as well. We're not in our own balanced Earth. And so how that manifests for a healer, an artist, a conscious entrepreneur is, I see that a lot in this kind of community, is that there is an underlying scarcity mentality of not enough money, not enough this, not enough that. That's what I call the Earth Mother default pattern. So a lot of us are in that pattern. Now each archetype has got its own default patterns, and depending where the wounding has happened early in childhood, we kind of get stuck. And when we want to create abundance in our business, or we want to have a balanced relationship, we tend to get stuck at the same pattern each time. Now for me, I mean, we've got probably wounding in all of them, but there will be one really big core wounding. And I'm going to share you what part of mine was. You know, I mean, as I said, I've visited and healed a lot of wounding in all these elements, but my constitutional element is quite fire. You know, I've got this natural uprising energy that was just merge. It's like this force that just wants to take off all the time. And when I was younger, I was born into a family where people didn't really get me. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So it was really challenging. And of course, when you're young, you have to survive. So you do your best to survive. You work out, how do I get attention, how do I get love? And so for me, I needed to start hiding my light in order to fit in. Because if I shared myself, I was judged. And so I started shutting myself down. I started hiding who I really was. And so that hiding quality was really following me around in my life, and it was really holding me back to sharing the work I need to share in this world. So it always held me back professionally, because I didn't want to be out there with people. And then of course I hit the 10 years in the bush, right? So even though that was the most blissful time of my life, towards the end of it I did realize there was an element of hiding. You know, I thought I could live there for the rest of my life, but I knew there was a calling. And I knew I had to overcome this, I needed to overcome to just get out and be seen. So fire, which I call the goddess, she's all about being seen. She's shining her light, she's radiant. Yesterday we kind of celebrated the goddess quite a lot last night. So, and everybody was so radiant, right? So, as I said, we've got wounding and patterns, default patterns. Once you're in default with one, you're automatically in default with all of the ones because the supportive cycle isn't flowing anymore. So, and I just want to give you a feel for it. This is the wise woman, right? She is very deeply inside. We find her in our instinctive being. She's very much present in our womb. And as far as I'm concerned, wise woman is the most neglected archetype. She is the water element. Water element is the most neglected element today in the Western world. Because everything pulls us out to the surface, right? And we completely ignore the seasons. Like in winter, it's time to really move in. It's like a kind of a hibernating energy. And for you now, we're in autumn, fall, and moving towards winter. So the energy is going back towards the earth. And in winter, it's going below the earth. And actually, that's what we naturally want to do too. Because remember, we're nature. We're made of the same elements as a tree is. And when you think about it, you've got a cherry tree who in winter is sleeping. There's nothing on the leaf, there's no leaves, no flowers, no fruit. It's just a bare tree with a bark, with the roots deeply in the earth. And there's so much work going on below the surface in winter. There's a lot of root repair going on. The roots are getting ready for the next cycle. So that when spring comes, that little tree has rested enough and it's built up its stores. It can get really prolific. And what do we see in Mother Earth? She's unstoppable in winter. Right? You just can't hold her back. You try to get on top of your garden, it's impossible. Right? And so all of a sudden in spring the tree awakens and it just grows like crazy. Now, when we translate that to us as working and running a business, the world's pretending it's spring all year round. Right? Go, 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 go. Do not stop. Goal setting, goal setting. Right? The Amazon is the visionary. So she is about moving forward and achieving the goals. And she will get there. We need her, right? But we don't want her to dominate everything. Because if we let her dominate, be disconnected to the wise woman, we have a woman that's always busy, doing a million things, but isn't in alignment with her soul's calling. Probably not. Now this community wants to be and needs to be in alignment with, we need to be with our soul's calling. We don't have a choice. We're bringing in the new time on this planet. So we have a huge responsibility. So we do need to really anchor in the wise woman. And the wise woman is the answer to moving through all of the default patterns. Because it's here when we stop, when we're pulling in at night, when we're pulling in during dark moon, when we're pulling in during winter, when we're menstruating. Through those introverted times, there are opportunities that nature gives us to stop. What's nature doing? Is the cherry tree trying to grow cherries in winter? No! It'd be the weirdest thing. So how come we're trying to grow cherries in winter? Really, it's a bit stupid. So, I've created, and I'm helping women to align their life and business to nature. So what I say is always be in touch with Earth Mother. Always, 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 because we can't be lost without her. She is governing our life force, our creative, feminine creativity. How do women create? Like whether we have children or not, a woman has the potential to create life with her body. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't get any more amazing than that. Right? To actually be able to create life inside our own bodies. Now, that force can be used for anything you choose from. And number one, that force is first for us. Right? We're so conditioned to always give our life force away as women, right? Mm-hmm. The partner, the family, the friends, the people you work with, the community, it's going out, it's going out, it's going out, it's going out, it's going out. We're conditioned. We're conditioned to say yes, we're conditioned to please, but we need to get in control of our life force. But there's a problem. And the problem is that we carry a lot of wounding here. Yeah? We carry so much sexual wounding in our bodies. Some of it's not even ours, it's ancestral, it's been passed down the line for generations. Some of it is we just hold for other women. You know, particularly when we're healers, we hold the pain for other people and we transform it for others. There's a lot of pain in this world. There's a lot of pain in our feminine bodies. And so it's hard for us to actually drop into our wise woman because we're disconnected from that part of ourselves. But if we are disconnected, we're also disconnected from that part that naturally regenerates us. Because that energy that can create new life can also regenerate all of your cells. It's got the power to regenerate you. And I'm a great example for that. I was chronically ill for many years. After my second baby died, my body just shut down. And it just wouldn't come out of it. And I knew so much. You know, I was a yoga therapist, I knew a lot about Ayurveda, I understood Chinese medicine, I spent thousands on all this stuff. But my body just wouldn't come back. I just kept bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. It was like my body was crying. It was crying so many tears, not just my own tears of my own baby. I must have been crying ancestral tears and global tears, and it just wouldn't stop. It got so bad that I developed arthritis, my organs didn't work properly, my digestion didn't work. The organs started to pull nutrition from my muscle to survive. So I was in 24 hours pain. I couldn't even lift my arm or not even a finger without being in pain. And I was kind of going, my belief was always, if I just meditated enough, and I worked through all this shit that goes on up here, one day I'll just snap back and it'll be well. It didn't work. It just didn't happen. And I probably meditated 6 hours a day those days. So, Mother Earth was showing me something. I needed to create a body of work that really changed things on this planet. And for each one of us. And it was like being in the body in a different way. I needed to learn to really be anchored in my own womb, in my own creative center. I needed to hear what was there to block that. And I needed to be rooted in the earth, just like the cherry tree. I actually needed to learn how to have the roots in the earth and receive life force from the earth. And so